In this video, Foodie Beauty is going to be talking about a couple of different things. I cut down her video, but I'll be inserting my inputs in the middle of it.
You know, we're supposed to learn from it and take what we need and leave the rest behind, you know?
Okay, but by that logic then, Chantal, stop talking about BBJ. Nobody's using BBJ for cloud. You're the only one that keeps on bringing up BBJ because you know you get more views to your channel. And if you're going to leave your past behind, why do you keep on talking about Nader? Why must you always bring him up? The reason I'm bringing up Nader is because later on Chantal goes on to say she was in an abusive relationship with Nader. I beg to disagree with that one. Chantal was more than happy to hand over her money to Nader. Okay? Chantal didn't have any kids with Nader. Chantal didn't live with Nader. Chantal could have gotten up in her car Chantal could have gotten up in her car anytime and left Nader's place and went back to her own place. She acts like she was married to this man, financially tied to him, had kids with him, and loyally tied to him in that way, and that is not the case. She is just bitter that a crackhead loyally beat her to her game. That's all she's upset about. And I just find it weird that you're supposed to be happily married and you still bring up your supposed, in codes, ex. To me, it's just bizarre.
Now, for me, a lot of my past in the past couple of years, past few years even, is completely dead to me. Like and I've realized this, grieve it. I've gone through a lot of grief. I've gone through a lot of processing. And for me, I think I've gone through a lot of self-growth. And maybe I don't
Ma'am, when you go through self-growth, people can see it. You don't have to come on the internet and tell us. We can see it. Unfortunately with you, it's evident there's no self-growth at all. Zero. There's no self-awareness, no self-growth. It's kind of like with you coming online trying to tell us that you and Salah are in love. It's clear you're not. Or I should say, it's clear that he is not at all interested in you in that way at all. Maybe you are, but he's not.
Other than my weight issue, you know, literally, that's, you know, I talk ad nauseum about that. That's evident because that's a problem on the outside that's very visible, you know.
Oh my God, did she just admit that she knows that she gained almost over 100 pounds since she was in Kuwait? Is this the clue that says to her admitting that she gained weight we're gonna get? Wow.
No, but internal issues that you can't see, that I'm comfortable talking about now. I don't mind. So I think that the me that you guys miss, I don't think that was the real me. So I've done some reflection on that.
So we're all clear. This is the her she's talking about. Chantal, this is the real you. This is you and you're happiest. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if you're trying to convince the authorities in Kuwait, because this whole speech thing video you did is very weird. It's like you're trying to convince somebody. Are you trying to convince Salad Boy? Are you trying to convince the Kuwaiti authorities? Are they on your heel? Because this is the real you, Chantal, through and through. Like, you're like not a shell of yourself over there. Like, honestly, let's just be honest. You look like a shell of yourself. You keep on coming on all pious, trying to tell us that you're super happy. Ma'am, we have seen you when you were truly happy. This was you at your prime in happiness. Okay? So stop trying to tell us that our eyes are lying to us, our eyes are deceiving us, because if you were happy, we would have noticed that from the get-go. We would not be arguing with you about whether or not you are happy. It would have beamed off of your face. You are not happy, and we are not crazy. And to me, it seems like you're trying to convince somebody that you have changed. I don't know what's going on, but I just find this whole video very, very weird. Like, as if you were trying to convince somebody that you have changed, and we're sitting back and watching you going like, no ma'am, you have not changed one bit.
And I was thinking, like, am I fake? Like, what is the real me? Because I'm still discovering who I am in a lot of ways, but I have done a lot of that self-discovery. I have to say, I think that the foodie beauty you're missing in a lot of ways was a foodie beauty that was meant to entertain you. That was a kind of a persona. Now, not all of it. I do have a very silly side, and that still does come out once in a while, but I find that it's not natural as it was. A lot of the time, dancing around.
Again, Chantal, this Chantal in this video is the real Chantal, okay? The Chantal that's sitting there with the hebaya giving us the spiel, that's a fake Chantal, okay? You're like an empty vessel. Anytime you're with a dude, you always change your personality to match that person. You always lose yourself for some penis. The lady that's sitting there with her hebaya and her hijab, that's not the real you, okay? You're like an empty barrel, an empty vessel, and that's very, very scary. Chantal, this is you through and through. You are an empty vessel. This describes you through and through, and it is sad. It is so sad to see.
I'm acting silly, all these things. I really did it just to have fun and entertain you guys. But now I feel like older. Like, I really feel that in the past year, I've matured a lot in a lot of ways.
That's maturing include being gleeful that somebody's children's father sadly passed away, and you have to take it to a community post and being gleeful about it. Does maturing include you coming online and accusing your so-called husband's wife a whore because they were in a financial spot many years ago when they first got married, and they have to take in boarders to help pay the rent so they can all survive? Is that called maturing? Is it? Is maturing mean making false police reports on people? Is maturing mean accusing somebody of murking the ex-boyfriend and their dogs? And the list goes on and on and on. And does maturing mean include being misogynist and racist and bigoted? So when did this maturing kick in? Because I have yet to see it. We all have yet to see this maturing that you keep on talking about.
And I think I've learned a lot of hard lessons about life. And like I said, I've had to grieve my past.
Ma'am, you haven't grieved anything. Your past is right there on your heels, okay? You are in Kuwait because you are running away from your responsibilities, okay? You are in debt. You had to file for debt twice. It wasn't because of anything anybody made you do. It was because you put yourself in debt so you can eat. Not just so you can eat because you're hungry, so you can continuously keep on getting takeout. That's how you got in debt. Nobody put you in there. You're running from your past, and again, your past is right on your heel. You have yet to pay your Canadian taxes. You're running away from your past. Your past is slowly knocking on your door. Even in Kuwait, no matter how far you try to run, Chantal, your past is going to keep on knocking on your door until you finally answer. And you have not answered to your past. You might tell yourself that you have, but you have not. Sooner or later, Chantal, you have to pay the piper. Prolonging it is only just going to make it worse. Just pay the piper, and I think you make life so much easier for yourself and stop running away from your problems.
To Canada, the last time I was there, very hard. My life in Canada was in shambles. And I think a lot of people forget that. I think that that was very entertaining for you guys. Some people found me entertaining. They found me silly. They found me open. I would talk about everything. You know, nothing was private for me. Nothing was sacred. I just let everything out. And, you know, I've said this before, but I repeat myself. There's a lot of value.
Live from the pit of hell. Nat, you're welcome, motherfucker. And guess what you broke? You broke your channel. Ha!
Oh my God.